This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, the National Party holds its first caucus of the year and party leader Christopher Luxon has a message for his team. Predator-free Dunedin is looking to expand its operations following a helpful boost. And a Christchurch Vaccination Day is looking to boost immunisation numbers in the community. Tēnā koutou katoa, kia ora, I'm Simon Anderson. 2 people are in Dunedin Hospital with gunshot wounds after an incident in Invercargill this morning. Police say emergency services received reports of a shooting on Centre Street at about 1 a.m. Both people received gunshot wounds and were flown to Dunedin Hospital with a man in critical condition and a woman in a serious condition. Neighbours who spoke to the Otago Daily Times say there had been increased hostility and volatility at the address over the last 3 to 4 weeks. Police are conducting a scene examination along with further inquiries. In Queenstown today, National Party leader Christopher Luxon is telling his party's caucus it's time for a reset and to focus on the team after years of infighting. He says the party chose Queenstown, believing the resort town typifies the economic issues facing Aotearoa in the COVID era.
Addressing the National Party's inner circle, Christopher Luxon told the caucus it's time to put factions aside and appear like a credible opposition.
I think we've got positive signs. The message very clearly is it is game on for 2023. We've got 7 quarters to get ourselves organised. 2 of those quarters will be a campaign and that work really has started today and over summer as we've got it into it.
Although Luxon praised the Ardern government's handling of the pandemic in 2020, he says it made many mistakes last year.
I thought the government did a really good job in 2020, and I think it's important to say so. But I think 2021 was a shambles, and as a consequence, we're now seeing everything is not getting done, and there's poor delivery, and there's a failure to deliver.
The retreat is focusing on topics Luxon thinks will be important: the economy, COVID-19, and more. He says many New Zealanders are doing it tough.
We'll get, they'll see through Omicron, but the key issue is the cost of living's going up, and what are we going to do about that?
He told MPs the party would not be successful unless leaders got out of the Wellington Beltway and meaningfully engaged with voters. A recent poll shows Luxon is beating Ardern's approval rating. Luxon's at +22, with Ardern at just +15, her lowest since approval polling began in 2019.
We're in the ascendancy, the government's in the descendancy, and we've got a big opportunity ahead of us.
Luxon says National will be fired up when it becomes the government, and MPs will have to be ready to govern immediately. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Predator-free Dunedin's vision of a pest-free city has received a major boost after securing another $7 million. The organisation says the significant injection allows it to expand its operational area.
A multi-million-dollar funding boost is set to help Predator-free Dunedin grow its operations by thousands of hectares.
We're going to be extending our operational area by 30,000 hectares to the west of State Highway 1. We will be doing possum control and following the great work of Osprey.
The Crown-owned company, Predator-free 2050, has committed more than $4 million to a total of $7 million. This allows Predator-free Dunedin to deliver on the government's goal of eliminating stoats, rats and possums by 2050.
So we've been seeing a huge number of keriru and silvereye. We're seeing a lot more tui and bellbird, and we're even seeing some of the species from Orokonui coming outside of the fence up around the Halo Project area.
Additional support has come from Wanita Forest Products, City Forests and the AAW Jones Charitable Trust. Predator-free Dunedin Communications and Engagement Advisor Kimberly Collins says possum traps will also be handed out to households around the city. Their efforts to date already reaping rewards.
The wildlife is coming back. We're removing the possums and the rats and the stoats, and we're getting the community engaged, and it's really exciting to be able to expand that work thanks to this additional funding.
Since it started in 2018, Predator-free Dunedin has removed about 45,000 predators from 30,000 hectares of Dunedin's urban and rural land. The funding secured will be paid in regular instalments until 2025. In Dunedin, the South Today.
New Zealand's only drill bit manufacturer has been destroyed by fire at the weekend. Twisted metal framing and parts of the breeze block construction is all that remains of the Sutton Tools plant in Kaiapoi. Volunteer fire sirens sounded just before 1 a.m. Sunday morning as about 40 homes were evacuated due to the fire. Fire investigators were at the scene today. At 4 a.m. Sunday, there were 14 fire appliances from across Canterbury at the scene. A worker who didn't want to be named said Sutton Tools employed multiple generations of local families, with some working there for decades. A COVID vaccination day was held in Christchurch today to help immunise African and refugee communities. The day was filled with food and music to make the vaccination experience more welcoming.
African music, laughter and the smell of food filled the air as locals of all ethnicities lined up to get their vaccinations. Eurobar South Island organised the vaccination day in conjunction with the Canterbury District Health Board to encourage people from their local community to immunise themselves against COVID-19 and the Omicron variant. President of Eurobar South Island, Bodie Akimbo, says immunisation amongst the African and refugee communities is good, but could be better.
We organize for the African people and and other communities to have their first jab, especially for the kids, and then booster for those who have already had, and even those who haven't had any.
Organisers put on food and entertainment to help take people's minds off getting the jab.
We have a lot of food to eat from different communities: Zimbabwe, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and then other communities there. And there is food for everyone there.
General Secretary of Eurobar South Island, Omatosha Ilo, says they want to be part of a good cause and help the community.
Welcome other groups or other nationality, other tribes. We welcome everyone to come and partake in this cause, to come and get vaccinated. What we are here for is to protect everyone, not just African community.
Akimbo says the event was well supported.
There are a lot of centers, a lot of events like this one we are holding that are being held all over now. People should try and go out and get vaccinated so that we, put coronavirus at bay in our communities, especially in Aotearoa.
1 million Kiwis have already received a booster vaccine, and public health experts say the race is on to boost as many people as possible to help reduce the effects of COVID-19. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Whaiakene is still to come on the South Today. DCC funding points towards an historic Port Chalmers site, and Sir John Key shows interest in Queenstown and the current political landscape. See you soon.
Inside are all sorts of innovations from all over China.
Hi there, guess who? You recognise the eyes? Oh, okay, it's a haircut. Anyway, it's Lindsay here from Alex Campbell Menswear. Our 3 stores are carrying on as usual. Despite what's happening in the world, we have got some great stock for you. Personally, I've spent 50 years in this business and we have some excellent supplier relationships. We've got great stock, it's hand-picked, it's here, it's on time, and it's ready for this great summer.
Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
So, as my favourite cut says, keep calm and carry on.
This is the big one. My mate John's massive annual sale starts this weekend. John slashed 20 to 80% off his massive range of rock-bottom warehouse price furniture and beds. That's right, 80% off clearance items. Numbers are strictly limited, so don't delay. It's my mate John's Ali Fantastic Sale. The big one starts this weekend at John's Furniture Warehouse, Stafford Street.
Get that furniture from Stafford Street and my mate John.
Spark your joy with jazz, the next generation from Honda. A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Every day the team at Gillian supports grieving families at their time of need, from answering your questions to organising a farewell that reflects the wishes of your loved one. We can help. Call Gillian's today. If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
No mai nō, welcome back. The Dunedin City Council is spending the first part of this week considering increasing council staff numbers, enabling Otago Museum to become a living wage employer and making an historic site in Port Chalmers safe. Now, just a shell, the Sim site at Port Chalmers was a key part of the shipbuilding history of New Zealand over 100 years ago. To make the old foundry site safe, it would need to be decontaminated and would require stabilisation of the adjacent earth bank. It's estimated the work could cost over $700,000. If the council eventually says yes to many of the plans on the table, the city could see a potential rates rise of 6.5%. Former Prime Minister Sir John Key made a flying visit to Queenstown recently. The three-term leader was checking up on $1 million section he's bought as an investment and also reminding the media about his political views.
The grass may be dry and dead now, but one day this will be a lush golf course. Sir John Key and his son Max visited Queenstown on Friday to officially hit the first ball on the site of Gibbston Valley Resort's 9-hole golf course. The former Prime Minister has added to his already large property portfolio through buying one of the $1 million-plus sections currently under development at Gibbston, with no firm plans of building here.
It's nicely positioned, in relation to sort of, both Queenstown and things we're interested in. There's a variety of golf courses around the way, and so we just looked at it and thought, well, look, it's nice to have an investment here and an opportunity to have a stake in the ground.
The three-term leader of New Zealand says that while the country's geographic isolation gave it more time to respond to COVID-19, that extra time hasn't been used to full effect.
You have to ask the question whether the government's really used that time to actually put in place what they could see was coming. I mean, Omicron's not new. I mean, people have been aware of quite a while, and I don't think it's just me, but I think there's been a widespread view that the government's been caught a bit flat-footed.
The former leader says the National Party is set to do well under the new leadership of Christopher Luxton.
Yeah, I think it's game on, actually. That doesn't mean that it's going to be easy over the next 18 months. Incumbency gives any government a huge advantage, but I think the Labour Party won't be sleeping as easy as they have been recently.
Key and his son later played a round of golf at Arrowtown's Millbrook Resort before flying on to Auckland. In Queenstown, the South Today.
One Dunedin driver has had a bad start to their driving career this weekend. On Saturday, a 16-year-old girl who had just received her licence crashed through a fence and into a house. Police say she lost control of her car, turning onto Hargis Crescent at around 6 p.m. before crashing into the property. Police say no one was injured, but the house and fence suffered a fair bit of damage. After the break on the South today, yet another sea lion becomes the centre of attention in an East Otago town, and a North Otago Embroiderers Guild celebrates 50 years. Hea koko ake nei.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Living Well Disability Resource Centre, a not-for-profit charitable organisation and your one-stop shop for information and resources to help you retain independence. We offer a wide range of assistive products from jar openers to mobility scooters and provide assessments for Total Mobility, the half-price taxi scheme. Come and see the friendly team. You'll find us on the corner of George and Bath Streets, ground floor of Burns House.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Hi, my name's Matt and I'm the Dines Group CEO. Dines is a company that's focused on selling logistics solutions to its customers. We're passionate about selling efficiency and we've been selling efficiency for over 50 years now.
This is the big one. John/20 to 80% off his massive range of rock bottom warehouse price furniture and beds. It's My Mate John's Ali Fantastic Sale.
My Mate John. Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
MTF Finance can help you turn the key on your next vehicle with a loan made just for you. TCs and lending criteria apply.
What have you got? Okay. Chicks World, party time, excellent. Love it. Chicks World. Chicks World. Right.
Hoki mai anō. A Dunedin campsite has had an unexpected visit from an unusual visitor on the weekend. On Saturday, a large sea lion wandered through the Warrington campsite. Kyle Alum filmed the sea lion as it made its way through the campsite, attracting the attention of the 30 to 50 campers at the site. On Sunday, traffic was halted by a sea lion on Doctors Point Road in Waitati. Sea lions are well into their breeding season, meaning Dunedinites are likely to encounter the pinnipeds at local beaches. The Dunedin City Council advises people to give the creatures a wide berth and to keep dogs on leashes at beaches visited by sea lions. The delicate needlework of embroidery went on display in Weston near Oamaru over the weekend. The exhibition was a chance for the local Embroiderers Guild to celebrate more than 50 years since it was founded back in 1971.
Making up for missing out last year, the North Otago Embroiderers Guild held its Southern Regional Exhibition in Weston near Oamaru over the weekend. The organisation had hoped to put on the display to the public last year in celebration of 50 years, but that had to be put off due to COVID-19. As it happened, it was the Guild's first exhibition showcasing the intricate skills of its members in more than 10 years.
Everybody does something differently and shows the talent within the community.
The exhibition's theme was about passing the craft of embroidery between generations, with plenty of help and advice available for those interested in having a go.
People think the word guild is for experts, but it's not. You don't have to be a stitcher to join the guild. We just teach as we go along and help each other out, and nothing's impossible.
The weekend also included a regional meeting for the dozen embroiderers guilds that exist across the south. Near Oamaru, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The National Party held its first caucus of the year with new party leader Christopher Luxon's message to refocus after 2 years of infighting. Predator-free Dunedin has received a $7 million funding boost which will allow it to expand its operations. And a Christchurch vaccination day is looking to boost immunisation numbers in the community. And now for a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, we welcome Deputy Editor Craig Page. Kia ora, Craig.
Good evening, Simon. Some startling figures out from the Southern District Health Board today. They released their latest COVID modelling for 2022 based on the predicted arrival of Omicron, obviously.
Yeah.
Not great reading. They're expecting about 18,000 COVID cases in the south this year.
Wow.
And 70% of them to appear between March and April this year. So it's not far away when you think about it. It's put together on a lot of intricate data, obviously, but so we'll have plenty on that, and just how well prepared the health system is for this. We've been talking about it for a long time now, so they seem to be on top of everything, but those numbers are pretty staggering, that's for sure. Shooting in Invercargill early today, we've got more on that. 2 people taken to Dunedin Hospital with injuries, one of those seriously. We've talked to some neighbours of the house where the incident took place in Invercargill. Said there appeared to be a bit of tension between rival groups down there in recent days and weeks. Police aren't saying too much, but suggestions are there could be a gang link there as well. Interesting enough, a group of about 20 people arrived at Dunedin Hospital unannounced today as well, wanting to visit the injured people. Wasn't any trouble, but police arrived there as well just to support the staff. And Tim Shadbolt, the Invercargill Mayor, he's sort of calling for calm as well and saying this is an Invercargill, we'll move on from this. And that's, travel pages, wouldn't that be nice at the moment, ability to travel somewhere. This is the island holiday you're having when you're not going too far. So
where are we
it's
going?
the Hauraki Gulf. So.
Nice.
For a bit of meditation, yoga and some wine. So at least one of those things appeals to me. And just finally with sport, we look ahead to the Winter Olympics, which are just next month away, or as of tomorrow. So we talked to Wanaka biathlete Campbell Wright. He's another of these teenage sports stars who are a bit of a sensation for New Zealand. He's going to be taking a wax technician with him to make sure his skis are in top order. So an interesting read, well worth a look.
Great, Craig. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And time now for a look at the weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Starting with today's southern view, taken of some seagulls enjoying the warm weather in the Octagon. Looking at the situation, a damp and humid week ahead with warm temperatures and some rain through Wednesday, when colder weather and showers for Thursday and the days following. To the centres now, and it's cloudy across the whole north of the island tomorrow. Westport and Greymouth on 23 and 24 degrees. Of course, that cloud extends to the top of the island. Nelson on 24, Blenheim up to 28. And right down the Canterbury coast as well, Kaikoura on 23, Christchurch 21 and Ashburton up to 27. To the southern towns, north to northeasterlies blow across the region with cloud increasing and a high of 25 or 26 degrees. To the central outlook, freshening to moderate northerlies here. Cloud increasing across the day, even turning to rain later in Te Anau on 24 degrees. Hot elsewhere up to 30 in Wanaka and Alexandra. Further north it's similar inland, moderate northerlies, cloud increasing and up to 30 or even 31 degrees. Milder on the coast, Oamaru on 24, Timaru 26, northeasterlies here carrying high cloud. Here in Dunedin, fine tonight with northeast winds and an overnight low of 15 degrees. Tomorrow, early high cloud thickens and lowers later in the day, developing to rain at night. Fresh, breezy northeast winds, a high of 24 and a low of 16. And overcast with light rain across Wednesday, the winds picking up and rain easing later on. A high of 25 and a low of 17. And in Invercargill, fine tonight with an overnight low of 14. Fine tomorrow too, high cloud increasing and warmer northerly winds slowly freshening during the day. A high of 26 and a low of 15. Overcast with periods of rain on Wednesday and fresh gusty northerly winds. Warm and humid throughout. A high of 24 and a low of 16 degrees. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz and you can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand. Nō reira kia pai te pō, ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.